Welcome everyone. My name is Sean, and today I want to talk to you about this shirtless man that was running away from the police on a golf cart, because even though this story is ridiculous and absurd, and the raw video is ridiculous and absurd, it actually is even worse than you think when you realize that the police were kind of just goofing off in this situation, because the man behind the wheel in the golf cart, not wearing a shirt and not having any shoes, was fleeing a very serious crime. Now, we're going to get into that, but before I get into that, I want to say thank you to everybody who signed up over on actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
And thank you to the podcast listeners, Spotify, Apple, and Google's podcasting platform. You know, there's a scene in an episode of South Park that was meant to make fun of the O.J. Simpson police chase, where Kenny is trying to dash to the border with Eric Cartman in their go-go battery-powered Ford Bronco. And this is very indicative of that, because just like Stan and Kyle, when I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are the police doing? Why aren't they just getting out and walking briskly and stopping him? Because he's not going that fast. Why are they messing around? Why are there so many sirens? You're going to see how many cops are pursuing this individual when it doesn't need to go this far. It's a golf cart, people. This is not something that you can't take down with relative ease, yet the police are just goofing off behind this individual. Now, at least in this portion of the video, the man in the golf cart appears to be taking some kind of evasive maneuvers. He's weaved into oncoming traffic, is cutting back. He's showing some aptitude behind the wheel of the golf cart. But as you could see, when they pan back over to the police, they're all driving in a giant group of cars insanely slowly. Again, I asked the question, what the hell are they doing? Why are they doing this? What is going on? And I know you guys might think it's funny. There's laughter from the people that are filming this guy in the golf cart. But I assure you, it's actually quite serious, and I'm going to read to you the information that we have on this individual. So from the LA Times, we have the following. High-speed police pursuits are common in Los Angeles, but the police chase in the San Fernando Valley on Sunday night was extraordinary. The suspect was fleeing police in a slow-moving golf cart while holding a dog on his lap. The man was wanted in connection with an assault with a deadly weapon, according to the LAPD. The unidentified man was possibly armed with a knife and threatened to harm the dog, said LAPD officer Norma Eisman. Police responded just after 9 p.m. to the 18,700 block of Ventura Boulevard, where an unattended security golf cart had been stolen. The man led police on a slow-moving police chase around Tarzana with the dog on his lap. Now look, it's all fun and games when you watch the video. The guy's shirtless, maybe he's on drugs, what's going on? Did he just steal that golf cart? Did he possibly steal that dog as well? But it turns out it's actually quite serious, and the police are legitimately goofing off when they're not pursuing this, not blocking this guy in, and letting him cruise down a major thoroughfare in Los Angeles in a golf cart, wearing no shirt, having no shoes, and holding a dog in his hand. There's not very good security in the golf carts. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. If some car, because he blows through a red light, ultimately ends up hitting him, that could result in his death. And this is not the ideal, optimal outcome you want from a police chase like this, especially when at certain points in time, this guy is going slower than a normal person can run. So a police officer should be able to run up to him, get in the golf cart, tackle him out of it, and get the dog and him away at the same time. However, the police pursuit continues at this gruelingly slow pace until the suspect makes a decision. So as you can see right there in this shot, we have almost 10 officers on the scene. You have 2 officers on the dog. Again, very well utilized police resources in this situation, while 2 officers are handcuffing the man. Now, the reason for this is not because the police executed any kind of good tactical maneuver in order to get this guy out of the golf cart. It's because this guy realized when he saw an old lady walking down the street faster than him, that he should possibly try his luck with the foot pursuit, and at this point in time, the police decided that they were going to stop goofing off and chase this guy down. The man stopped the golf cart near the Oxnard Street and Laurel Canyon Boulevard in the Valley Glen neighborhood at 9:44. Remember, they said this pursuit started at 9 o'clock, so 45 minutes to go after this guy. Officers tackled the man in the parking lot, and he was taken into custody. So again, he decided to abandon the golf cart and make a run for it. And at that point in time, the police decided to intervene because they were totally goofing off in this situation. I'm just being honest. I mean, look at this. These cops, they can't even handle the dog right here. The dog is evading them right now at this moment, the same very dog that was staying on his owner's lap the whole time, because the police just, again, are not taking this with the seriousness that it should be taken. And as we pan across the dumpster, what you will notice is that there's way more officers there than I even estimated before. Now we're up at about a dozen, maybe to 15 officers, and again, all to stop somebody who is going probably an average speed of 5 miles per hour on a golf cart that all these cops decided to chase in the slowest way possible. Now, I don't know if this has to do with the pursuit policy of the LAPD. We know these left-wing areas have terrible pursuit policies, but they believe that this guy was armed with a knife. They were stopping him in connection with not only stealing the golf cart, but an assault with a deadly weapon, and supposedly he had taken the dog hostage, and the police have shown more care to this suspect than almost any suspect I've ever seen in my life. What are you doing? You know, as I see the about 20 or so officers that are here, the 5 officers that are now around the suspect, the 4 officers that are dealing with the dog who is now leashed, I can't help but think to myself that somebody is being murdered in the city of Los Angeles. Somebody's being robbed, somebody is having their home broken into, and this situation should be under wraps. You shouldn't have had to dedicate this many police cars to it, but for whatever reason, this took top priority in the city of Los Angeles. But when I say top priority, I mean the safety of the suspect and the dog took top priority, because again, they could have ended this pursuit, according to the reporting, unless I'm reading it wrong, 45 minutes earlier. For 45 minutes, they chase after this guy. He probably ran out of battery before they actually initiated the stop, because according to all the reporting that I'm seeing, he's the one who got out of the golf cart in the parking lot, and he decided to park it in a parking lot, which is quite courteous of him. Maybe the police were waiting for him to do something so polite so that they could help him. Look, I'm not anti-dog. I'm not a dog hater or anything like that. As Dennis Baratheon once said, they're loyal beasts and I have respect for them. But are we serious right now? They're filming the dog being put into the car. the cop is laughing. And by the way, they actually took the dog back to this guy's family to make sure the dog was okay. At this point in time, somebody's getting robbed, somebody is selling drugs, somebody is doing something, and all of these officers are just goofing off. This lady is smiling. This is how they're spending their time when they could have ended this 45 minutes earlier. Imagine your whole time for 911 was 10 minutes longer. Imagine they're breaking into your business in the middle of the night while they're dealing with this, while they're having fun with the dog, and it just gets so aggravating when you're watching this. And again, I know these left-wing areas have all these different protocols when it comes to pursuing vehicles, but it's a golf cart. If you would have taken two of those SUVs and parked it in front of this guy, sped up around him, you would have stopped him in 4 minutes. It would have been a wrap. It would have been over. I know that people getting the video wouldn't have had so much of a show, but it would have been solid police work all the way around. But instead, they did this nonsense. Now, by the way, the guy ended up going to the hospital at some point in time. He is in police custody. I don't believe they've charged him yet. They don't appear to have released his name. Possibly his hospital visit has to do with the fact that the police ended up tackling him in the parking lot, but it might be due to some kind of pre-existing condition or some kind of medical issue, or more likely some kind of drug issue that required him to receive emergency medical treatment. So I'm glad he got to go to the hospital. But again, I will say, after he is cuffed, you don't need this many cops. I'm sorry, LAPD. I'm very sad that your police force is down 10%. It's down to a near 25-year low. It's an absolute tragedy what's going on with your department. But what the hell are you guys doing? Get this guy in the car, get him in the ambulance, get him where he needs to go, stop him initially, and stop messing around. What are you guys doing?
I'm sorry, Rocky. Rocky, I'm very sorry. I was drinking, I'm an alcoholic. I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt like...
Come on.
Don't drink. Don't do drugs. Be a better person. Hey, guys.
Can you guys get out of the street, please? Can you guys get out of the street?
So this anonymous person says he's sorry. He says that he was drinking. He says, don't drink, don't do drugs, be a better person. He was out of control. So at least the cops, apparently going with this kid gloves approach, ended up teaching him a life lesson, and that's something for your kids to take home. I had to play this guy actually talking because he admits to using substances. It is still alleged at this moment in time, but if I'm being perfectly honest, it's something that explains his behavior, his shirtlessness, and the fact that he's not wearing shoes. But if you think about it, since the police basically were not going to stop him as long as he was in the golf cart, he may have become some kind of drunken genius throughout the course of his alcoholic days. So while he said don't drink and don't do drugs, and that's good advice for the kids in the audience to take home with you, chances are the man becomes a mad genius when he drinks and does drugs. And that 45 minutes sobered him up, and that's when he got the bad idea of trying to run away on foot. Because again, I will point to you the beginning of the video where the cops aren't doing anything in order to stop this guy.
You can film, just get out of the street.
Listen, I don't know who's behind the camera in this. I don't know who got this footage or anything like that, but I thank them. Their logo is in the top right of the screen. I believe it is RMG News, and I gotta give them credit where credit is due. They concluded this story by showing us where the dog went. They concluded this story by showing us where the perpetrator went, and then they wrapped it up with a nice little bow by showing us what happened to the golf cart. Look, overall, this story's not that serious. It's goofy, that's why I'm covering it. However, I do believe the fact that the police were so lackadaisical in their pursuit, and it took so many officers, actually does reach to a broader policy point that I think needs to be highlighted. I'm not the kind of guy who criticizes law enforcement for no reason. I will defend them against defamatory and ridiculous criticisms, but I think there are some fair and solid points to be made about this video, and I get the case is ridiculous, and you want as many people to see it as possible, But again, Los Angeles has had a significant crime increase, and I think you should be working on that rather than messing around again with this guy driving 5 miles an hour on a golf cart. But again, let me know if you guys agree down in the comments below. If you liked the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the golf cart pursuit that's reminiscent of OJ, also was the LAPD by the way. Till next time.